Pray Without Ceasing by Reverend Alexander Uy. Aside from John 11:35, Jesus wept, a Bible verse that many can readily memorize is the command given by the Apostle Paul to the church in Thessalonica regarding prayer. In 1 Thessalonians 5:17, Paul commanded the church to pray without ceasing. But what exactly does Paul mean when he told the church to pray without ceasing? Was he telling the members of the church to join more prayer meetings, to devote more personal time to pray, to partner with someone to pray? While all these are good and should be the personal spiritual exercise of every believer, I believe Paul was saying something else when he instructed the believers to pray without ceasing. In reality, none of us can ever pray without ceasing, if we are referring to time and schedule. Our jobs or our studies, as well as our household responsibilities, prevent us from being in every prayer meeting or to spend all of our waking hours praying. However, prayer is not always formal, like a set time for personal prayer or a prayer meeting in church or in a small group. Instead, prayer is primarily an attitude of total reliance on God in every situation. Remember Nehemiah when he appeared before King Artaxerxes and the king asked what was on Nehemiah's mind? While Nehemiah had already prayed through the issue of Jerusalem's broken walls on his own, here was the moment where the king asked the most important question, and there was no time whatsoever for Nehemiah to make a long prayer to God and keep the king waiting. While the passage recorded that Nehemiah prayed to God, I believe that the prayer was something he addressed quietly to God, and it was a short prayer. Still, Nehemiah prayed because he realized that he needed God. He could not give a good answer or have the courage to ask the king for a favor unless the Lord grants him. Here, Nehemiah exemplified what Paul meant when we are to pray without ceasing. He prayed on his own, and when faced with an important issue, he shot up a quick prayer for help. He understood that prayer is not just a spiritual activity, it is an expression of one's reliance and dependence on God. We all need to learn the lesson of praying without ever ceasing. While I am very much for the participation of every believer in prayer meeting and in having a personal prayer time, I would also like to see disciples of Jesus Christ learning to depend on God every moment of their lives by learning to pray when needing wisdom from above and strength for the challenges of life. We cannot afford not to pray. Independence from God is a dangerous proposition.